What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony with the Wrenched Out Garage. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we are just hanging out in the garage, and a couple of things came to mind, and this has really bothered me for years in the automotive industry, more specifically in the car dealership and car sales worlds. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's two main things. It's technology, and it's also valuing your vehicle. Now, it's been a huge thing on YouTube for guys to take their exotic cars or their really rare cars over to Carfax. You get a cool video. We've seen them. I've watched a bunch of them because I think it's funny and it's kind of cool. We've also seen some custom builds show up at Carfax. But from my experience, the reality of the situation is put the consumer, us, into a predicament simply because if you take a base model vehicle and you soup it up or you add mods that are legitimate, in their eyes, it doesn't add much value, depending on your dealer. But from my experience, it doesn't add much value at all. And it's kind of ridiculous because the reality of it is, if you take a base model vehicle, like we'll take my Silverado for an example, that's an LT trim truck. It came with a Bose system and some upgrades, sure. But I switched over and did cat skin leather. I got rid of the stock shocks and upgraded to the Bilsteins, which were well over $1,000. The aftermarket wheels and tires and all this other stuff. And I did take it to a dealership because I was just wondering what they would appraise it at. And they appraised it really low, and it was like, well, wait a second. I see right over there a equally equipped truck without all of these upgrades, and it's valued higher. And it poses that question, and it has on several vehicles I've traded in, several vehicles I've bought in through the years, that there's no value add. So if you take and make this basic vehicle super cool, has curb appeal, the products or the parts that you selected are brand name parts, and everything kind of adds up, why would it devalue the vehicle? Now, obviously, this is to the dealer's advantage all of the time. Oh, we don't care, but yet they're doing it. This is where I get kind of where this trips me up, and I've talked about this before. I did it when I was at a dealer. In fact, I was one of the first guys that was really decking out trucks here in Alaska, working at Dodge, and one of the crazy things to me still is, I went to a Ford dealer a few years ago. Hey, if you want this wheel and tire package, everything's overpriced, but then it diminishes the value or it's equal to the stock setup. It just doesn't make sense to me, especially when you put your hard-earned money, especially toward brand name parts. I mean, if you're putting on all top shelf parts and you see it, because it's not like it's a mystery on what you've done to the vehicle. You can tell the dealer, hey, I did this, this, and this. They have technicians and they have salesmen. What the hell are these salesmen doing to help combat that, to really give the customer value for their trade? That's a question. Maybe you guys know, and if you do, drop a comment down below. I'm interested because it's been a thing that's bothered me for many, many years. I've got a lot of good friends that did nice things to their trucks, their cars. They traded them in for various circumstantial reasons. And it just sucks. It's like, this doesn't make sense to me. In fact, I think the future of dealers, they need to teach their salesmen not only the current lineup, because that's a whole nother issue with dealerships as a whole, but whoever's assessing these vehicles as used vehicles, they really need to take that into consideration. Both value on good and bad, but nonetheless, they have to start taking that into consideration, especially when they're selling highly modified vehicles now at a premium. And I know that they want to prevent Joe Blow from doing this, that, and the other, but it's pretty ridiculous at this point that you can go buy a Ford Raptor, but if you take an F-150 and you equip it similar to a Ford Raptor, let's just say you take an F-150 XLT, or you take a nicer, even a Lariat. We'll take a Lariat and then we'll put the Fox shocks on it. We'll do this, this, and this, all these things, whatever it is. We'll, high-end wheels and tires, other suspension upgrades, whether it's extended control arms or whatever it is. But you do that, it's still not seen as, well, it doesn't matter. Even if you bought the same freaking components that the other truck had. The consideration and the conversion, really, that's really what it is that conversion of lack of consideration. I'm converting this truck or car that I took, I put a lot of money into. Now, again, I understand the side where it's either shoddy parts, shoddy upkeep to where you went and got a bunch of eBay parts, or you got nice parts and you didn't maintain the vehicle. I understand that as well, but it's just this thing that's been sitting in my mind like, this is ridiculous, especially because these aftermarket companies are killing it too. That's the other offsetting point. You've got companies like Bilstein, Fox Racing, MagnaFlow, MBRP, Gibson Exhaust, various supercharger companies. They're spending an exorbitant amount of money and time to provide these products for the customers, and they're incredible. Their technologies. In fact, most of these dealerships, their company that they're representing also have worked with these guys to some capacity, whether it's SEMA or whatever. I just feel like they need to be recognized when you bring it in to trade it in, especially when you talk about like doing a Borla exhaust, $1,000 exhaust. I know the dealer, I believe it was Ford, maybe even Chevy at a point, did deals with Borla and did deals with some of these other guys, and it should increase the value of the truck. You want me to pay, whatever the new Ram TRX at $90,000 for this truck, but if I bring I buy a $50,000 truck and I dump $40,000 into it, it's not worth $40,000 or $30,000. I mean, that's the thing. I just think it's crazy. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm genuinely interested. I'm sure I'll continue this conversation through time. It's just been killing me with that. Next thing I want to discuss is, and Tesla's got it right, I also feel like the other automotive groups need to pick this up and run with it, and that is giving your vehicles the electronic upgrades for free and actually doing something with them. A super simple example of that is I've owned several variations of the Chevy 1500 truck, whether it was the 14 or was it the 16 Denali and now the 18 Silverado. And granted, those are all the same version, and that extends my reasoning behind they should have and still should come up with cool options for your head unit, for your CD player or infotainment center, or whatever it is you want to call it, your information dashboard, your touchscreen display. All of that stuff should have been continuously updated and still should be getting updates. And I don't mean just basic updates. I mean, do it like Apple does it. Do it like Samsung does it. Do it like Tesla does it, to where you feel like you're getting something. I feel like I'm getting something back, and the relationship continues. So it's more than when I just buy the car or I get an oil change. That's really the relationship, or I have to go buy parts. Because at least if you're being given, at least for me personally, I spent all that money on the truck or the car. Like your iPhone, hey, a new update comes out. Now, not all updates are cool or important, but over time you're going to find yourself in a situation where it's like, hey, at least your displays and your information dash area is up to date and is current with whatever technologies are going on. I feel like that should be a common thing, especially with the dashes. The Apple CarPlay I feel is pretty darn good, but the dashes and whatnot, to where you can change graphics gauges, colors, what have you, should have been an ongoing option. Not just with Chevy, but with every vehicle 2020 and newer. They should implement this for various reasons, and it's updated via Wi-Fi at your house, or if you hotspot your phone. All right. enough of me ranting today. I just wanted to get that kind of off my chest. I also wanted to start doing videos like this instead of me kind of wandering around, because there's a lot of topics I'm going to be covering over the next several months that I'm excited to. One I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to dive deeper into that, and that is that brand new Ram TRX. Super stoked to talk about that. The Ford Bronco, the Raptor, and a lot of other vehicles that are coming out. So you're going to want to stay tuned. Those are my 2 cents as far as what dealerships and the manufacturers should consider with the future of cars and trucks. Technology, and then of course redeeming the owners for the hard work and all the nice and crazy parts that they're putting on their vehicles, especially in today's market. All that's going to do is encourage the enthusiasts to work on more vehicles. It's going to also help those manufacturers of all those aftermarket things, because of the frustrations that come with there's no value add. I'm going to take this off, I'm going to take that off. I've done it personally where I stripped damn near my whole truck. Luckily, I knew the general manager pretty well at the dealership I was at. He let me take both my new truck and my truck I was trading in home. I stripped and swapped parts because they were compatible. And that was, again, that was just dumb luck or what have you, but it's something to consider. Drop your comments on both of those down below, guys. I, as always, appreciate you tuning in. You're gonna see more of this on the regular basis, and I hope you like it. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up, share the video, and as always, hit subscribe.